Okay. Maybe that's not a good thing to do. I'd say 2020. Fucking, why am I so fucking stupid? because they have motion caption on. They're playing a character.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do. Oh, you're right. It's live monkeys. It's real talking monkeys.
Dude, have you seen any of the cast footage of them going to their press
made
tour?
a whole ass video of it. Yeah.
No, their press tour. Sorry.
Oh, their press tour? No.
Yeah. Just they're they go.
Oh yes, I did see on the Today Show. It's oh, here's how to act like a monkey.
Yeah. Which one would you like, JJ? Yeah, of course you went for that one, white boy.
You can just start the fucking stream like that?
Yeah.
Fucking not.
What can I say? I have a garbage take.
Hi, everybody.
What's up, everybody? Outside.
We're the uncool Cody and Noel.
The super uncool. I'm fake minority, and you're white man.
Well, actually, they don't know your race.
Yeah, they
so
don't.
You can be like
they don't know my race. Yeah. Definitely. So JJ, why don't you go ahead and tell the audience what we're talking about today?
Oh, great! Just put all the fucking pressure on me.
Yeah, because I have to look up all the articles. So absolutely, I'm going to put all the pressure on you, motherfucker.
So, New Planet of the Apes just came out, and I was like, "Hey, Peter, have you seen any of the monkey movies?" And he's like, "No." I'm like, "You should watch the monkey movies."
He's like, "No, I get cock."
You get cock. This is already shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're going to primarily be talking about the new trilogy, starting with Rise, and then eventually we'll talk about the new one. But before all that, we're going to be talking about the Ubisoft stuff that's been going on with Assassin's Creed. Not about the trailer itself. I'm sure we'll talk about it a little bit, but I have nothing much to say. Besides, the business practice side of it.
Yeah, I was really interested when you messaged me about it. You were like, "Yeah."
I just because we keep talking about stuff surrounding gaming, and I just think the way they're handling the additions is just so scummy. And then we're going to talk about live action Last of Us for a little bit, just some set photos and stuff like that. What the fuck was the other thing? Dune Prophecy. Yeah, that. I have a lot of opinions on. Well, not a lot, just primarily one, and it's why and don't adapt stuff that's not Frank Herbert's material. Instead, it's his. Well, I mean, it's not confirmed, but it seems like it's Brian Herbert's stuff, which is Frank Herbert, and we'll get it all into that soon. So we got a stacked stream today. We have an absolute stacked stream. Not only are we going to go over the new Planet of the Apes films, but also a bunch of news and stuff like that. So make sure to stick around. Also, you may have noticed if you're watching live right now, I just dropped my video essay for the month, and it is about the Planet of the Apes trilogy that just came out. My personal love for those films. It's more or less so analyzing and more me gushing about each of the three movies.
Because he likes monkeys.
I do like monkeys. Monkeys are pretty cool. We were evolved from them. Unless if you're Protestant, then you're just
unless
we're not
Protestant. What?
Wait, which one doesn't believe in evolution?
I don't no idea what you're talking about.
I don't know. There's a religion.
Real quick, can I get your bottle opener? That's crazy. I've never. I don't know if I've ever heard. Protestant? I don't know.
I feel like it's a Christian group that are just oh no, evolution didn't exist. We just kind of popped up.
Yeah, we did just kind of pop up. Kind of like this fucking transition to the next screen. So, JJ, you messaged me saying... Okay, so 2 days ago, JJ messaged me about a bunch of shit. Because a ton of shit, for whatever fucking reason, was announced or talked about.
Yeah, we've had 2 or 3 weeks straight where we're Anime 3x3.
Yeah.
Manga 3x video game 3.
Here's a tier
It's like
list.
nothing. Yeah.
And then now we have like reveals upon reveals of stuff. We're kind of getting into it, especially next month, where they'll be doing like a lot of game reveals and stuff. They're probably gonna have a D23 or whatever the fuck they do.
Oh, the Disney thing.
Yeah, so that's gonna come out soon. So we're gonna get a little
Caesar.
busy.
No.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Fucking Sora with the keyblade. Instead, they
Dude,
just
that'd be
cross over the
so-
Fox universe.
Because you know how I
Oh
watched
my
the
God.
Planet of the Apes movies?
Say that one more time. Sorry.
You know how I watched the Planet of the Apes movies?
Yeah.
Disney Plus.
Yeah, same here.
I watched all of them
Same
on
here.
Disney Plus.
I own the new ones.
You know
but
what that means?
They have all of them. What's that?
Canonically, Caesar could be in
Kingdom Hearts.
In Kingdom Hearts.
That would be awesome. He's a summon.
And Sora turns into a monkey, turns into an ape. Like every time
All
he
right,
goes to a
Goofy
different...
has to be a silverback gorilla.
Yeah,
Right.
Goofy.
And then Donald is probably like maybe
Donald's a
not
spider
Maurice,
monkey,
but like
dude.
yeah,
Donald's
sure,
a
a spider monkey,
bro.
but like with still a duck beak because they did that when they were
Yeah.
in Lion King world. Goofy was a turtle and Donald was what the fuck was Donald?
I don't know. I never played the games.
I don't remember, but I think he was just like a bird. I mean, ducks.
You know what else is a bird?
Anyways, yeah, see if you could find where they like have the layout of like the payment plans and shit, because that shit is fucking stupid. Let's see if this is it. Oh yeah, scroll down. All right, here we go. So, for those who have been keeping up with Ubisoft, especially during the Star Wars Outlaw thing, Ubisoft seems to be trying something a little new here, and I don't know if I like it very much.
What do you mean new?
Specifically with these editions, not only do you not get everything, which isn't new to Ubisoft, you know, like the Golden Edition, you get like a day one DLC mission instead of like having to pay for the extra DLC, also the season patch, which is normal for like editions like these and stuff like that. This is my biggest problem right here.
That's not new.
3-day early access.
That's not new.
But we haven't talked about it on the show.
We've never talked about it on the show.
But like,
do you actually care about it?
Yeah, it's bullshit. When a game is finished, it should be released and available to everyone. Like they're literally saying you have to pay more money to get this 3 days early.
Don't pay
like
more
that's
money for it.
bullshit. But also, this is like this right here is like you see how all these like aren't as highlighted, but this one's just like, hey, you want to pay $17.99 and you get everything. So you're like paying this much monthly just to cover this cost. And they, I think on purpose, they don't want you to buy this. They want you to be like, oh well, $17.99 a month. Let's do that. So they entrap you.
They want you to pay for their service 100% because you paying for their service, while at the end of the day might like this times 12 is probably going to be way more than this.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's only like probably like $10, $15 more. Whereas this is a one-time payment and then the user's done. There's no telling if the user is going to pay for other shit. Whereas with this service, you know, you could play all the other games and then invest money into those games.
But
because
Ubisoft
now you're thinking,
games, only Ubisoft
yes,
games.
it's fucking stupid.
It is stupid.
Do it. That's why, honestly, you should get Game Pass. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. Because you get Ubisoft on Game Pass.
We're going to talk about Planet of the Apes soon. We're just not... we're going over new stuff now, and then we'll get into it, so you didn't miss anything.
No monkey talk.
No monkey talk. I will announce the monkey. Oh, also, okay, so here's also my huge problem with this. There's no gameplay. The entire trailer is cinematic.
That's
like,
not
why
new
would
either.
You pre-order something without seeing any gameplay?
People do that.
It's just, but that's fucking
That's
stupid.
been a thing.
Why
it's
would
always
you do
been
that?
A thing. It's
Why?
always been a thing.
It's so fucking stupid.
It's always been a thing.
It's dumb.
Trailers will have, dude. That's the E3 hype.
I feel like
bro.
we've gotten better though, because I will agree with you. During the 360 era, that was definitely the case. But now I feel like every game trailer is like, all right, we have to show the gameplay, or at least a mock version of the gameplay. You know, where they're like, not official gameplay or not finalized gameplay down below. But like this one was just like, no. And Assassin's Creed games, like when they're announced, usually have a cinematic trailer first. But like with recent games, I think they've also like a day or two later being like, all right, here's the gameplay or something like that. But we got nothing to go on. Also, Ghost of Tsushima exists. Just
Yeah,
play
but
that.
I don't get to play as an Asian
You
woman
can
and
play
a
it
black
as
man.
you can. Oh, I was gonna say you play it on PC now. It's out on
Yeah,
PC.
except in 170 countries.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because of the PSN requirement.
Oh, yeah.
Steam is not putting it on sale because they don't want to deal with that.
Mm.
And
No, wait, I
hell,
thought I saw it on the Steam page. I'm pretty
yeah,
sure I saw it.
you live in America,
Oh, right.
where
Okay.
you can download and
Yeah.
create a PlayStation account, but in like Malaysia, you can't.
Yeah. Fuck them. No, just I'm
Wow,
kidding.
record
That was
that
a
one.
joke. That was a joke.
I'm not. Here's the thing.
This is just
I'm a
stupid.
cynic, and this is just the reality that we live in the gaming industry. I don't really care about a 3-day access. I mean,
I think
3-day
that's
early
so dumb.
3-day early access to me is just like, oh, this is like for the streamers or something
But
to
normally
get their
companies
hands on
will
the
just be
game.
like, "Hey, streamer, if you're popular enough, be like, here, play our game on stream."
I know, but not every streamer is like that.
Yeah,
Not
except
every
Kai,
YouTuber.
he's still fucking an Elden Ring right now.
Kaisen, I saw
Kaisen,
that. Yeah, I saw that he's like playing that for the first time or whatever.
Right.
I think one of the things that does kind of suck a little bit is like the exclusive missions.
Yes, that's bullshit.
That one's kind of silly. Granted, they will be released later on for standard, but it's just kind of like that sucks. It's the same thing when like Destiny came out and you could data mine the expansions.
Can we not?
And they were there, and you can't.
Do we always have to talk about Destiny on
fucking live? Just like how you have to complain about Peter Parker not being.
I haven't complained about Peter Parker in like a year.
Yeah. Okay.
Shut your fucking mouth.
Complain about him in a year. And so yeah, I just think that sucks. But like, whatever. At this point, these practices suck, and they won't go away because people are buying them.
That's true. Yeah. So the way to stop this is to stop fucking buying it.
Yeah, but no one's gonna do that.
I know.
I want you to tell someone to stop buying Call of Duty. They won't.
True. Yeah.
They won't. They'll keep buying it.
Like I'll buy Assassin's Creed when it's on sale. I'm never gonna buy it on launch ever.
And this is the first.
And it's
game.
shocking to me that people haven't learned that lesson with the amount of like broken games.
Oh, like pre-ordering.
Just broken launches.
Because people have faith, they believe, they get hyped, they get caught up in the.
I don't actually care about like the characters and stuff. Apparently, that's a big controversy. Like, I think that's cool that it's the first Black Samurai to play as, and
I think people are more so upset that it's not accurate to the actual.
Yeah, but when have
person.
they ever been fucking? What's his name? Connor from fucking Assassin's Creed 3 being like, "Hey, what's up, Benjamin Franklin? What are you writing there?"
Yeah, no, it's
like
you're right.
Stupid, like,
no,
right?
I agree with you.
It's dumb.
People are goofy.
Now, granted, Connor's not based on a historical figure, but even still, it's fine as long as like they don't have him be like offensive or anything like that. Like,
it's
fine.
I think the game looks like some of the stuff that I hear about the game is pretty cool. The dynamic weather system is supposed to be pretty badass.
Yeah, but I mean, Valhalla was the problem with these recent Assassin's Creed games is they give you way too much to do, and you don't do like any of it. You're like 20 or 10 or 20 hours in, and you're like, I'm not finishing this.
No, you're right. Like I'm not gonna buy this game. I can tell you that right now.
I've just been burned too many times.
No,
I'm just not interested. Because Mirage is like not even a full game, and I think they sold it at like $40, which is fine. But like even on sale, it's still not even like $10 yet. It's like, oh, we reduced the price down to $30. I'm like, I'm still not paying for this bullshit for $30.
I'm just saying, I'm just not interested in these games. They're not that interesting.
No, they haven't been good in quite a bit. I mean, I like Valhalla just because I like the time period and stuff like that, and I liked Odyssey because of the time period. Well, I like all the time periods, but like the RPG type gameplay for Assassin's Creed, I don't really like. I liked it when it was straightforward, like Brotherhood kind of thing.
Just a linear story.
Throw way too much at you in these recent games
because they want you to keep playing, bro. You don't.
But I don't want to keep playing. I want a single player experience. But they're just like
they are single player experiences. It's just not your kind of single player experience.
I'm gonna fucking.
Speaking of a single player experience that was adapted into a TV show, the season
Pedro
2.
Pascal about to get the quickest bag of Hollywood history.
Dude, he really. You say that, but
They're going to show a lot of
Joel
flashbacks.
shows up so much in the.
Not so much.
Yeah, he does.
He flashed back like 2 times.
They do hella flashbacks. So here's Joel.
Not nearly as much as you're implying.
Here's
I don't
Joel.
know if you remember the Last of Us Part 2 because you're such a big fucking fan of it, but there's one major flashback.
Relax, getting so heated.
Oh, you can look at that. You can look at
over
that
a
podcast.
2-year-old
Look at that
podcast.
Look at that fucking podcast. Like there's one major flashback and then a couple others, and that's about it. But I think for the show, because it's Pedro Pascal, they're definitely gonna like make up something and fucking what's his face, the director of Last of Us, not the TV show, but the Neil Druckmann is just gonna be like, yeah, I feel like we didn't get a lot of Joel's side because we wanted to focus on Ellie. So for the show, we wanted to do a bunch of flashbacks, which you should have done from the start, but whatever. But like, how about we have a flashback within a flashback in the video game? That's like super cool, right? It's dumb. One of the worst pacing of all. Like, I don't know how people defend the narrative of that game when you have flashbacks within flashbacks within flashbacks. Like that, your story is fucked. You got to restructure. Sorry, we got to do like a redux of that Last of Us 2 pod.
Just do it.
The only problem is I would have to play the game again,
Yeah.
and I already tried doing that, and I was like, I can't force myself to do that.
I'm just finishing Persona 3. Like, let's relax. I can't be playing more of these long ass games. I gotta be playing something else.
Yeah. You should play Animo Well. It's really good. Donkey's game.
Yeah.
I was playing some of it. It's really good. Oh, sorry. The Last of Us 2. I mean, I don't really know what much to say, but besides...
It's exciting to see these things. I was a little more excited to see how they would make Bella Ramsey as an older Ellie.
Doesn't look like
doesn't look like they are. So I'm really curious what they do with the show.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Hopefully it has none of those lesbian... No, I'm just kidding.
Dude, you're really on it today.
Yeah,
you
no,
really want to be
joke,
canceled
it's
today.
It's joke.
Speaking of canceling something.
Oh, God. Jesus Christ. Well,
I don't want this.
I don't want this.
I'm not
now, this has been
excited
in development
this.
for a very long time. It's been called like Dune Genesis, a bunch of other stuff, but like it was called not Genesis. Dune Sisterhood, because it's all about his sisterhood of the Bene Gesserit. Basically, it takes place 10,000 years before Dune. Now, my only problem with this is, it doesn't look like it's directly adapting the Brian Herbert stuff. It looks like it's kind of toying around with it, but like this just seems like, hey, what if we make Dune like Game of Thrones? I'm like, yeah, because that's worked with every other franchise. Be like, hey, let's take this franchise and just make it Game of Thrones when it's inherently not Game of Thrones. Now, Game of Thrones is heavily inspired by Dune, so it just seems kind of reversed now that Dune is trying to be inspired by Game of Thrones. It just, I don't care for it. I didn't want it. No one asked for it. It looks like it's like trying to do the Denis Villeneuve universe thing, but like
it doesn't
deep
feel
version
like
of it.
It doesn't feel like it.
Apparently, there's only going to be 6 episodes. Is that right?
That's what it says. Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I feel like no one asked for this. Who asked for this? I didn't ask for this.
People who like Dune.
I do like Dune, but I like the Frank Herbert stuff.
I don't know. I just don't care. I don't care.
Yeah.
I just want to like watch the movies.
Yeah.
And that sucks, but we'll see how it is. I mean, they did the remake. They did the Lord of the Rings TV show.
Yeah, that was fucking great.
That shit.
Yeah. And now they're doing a Hunt for Gollum.
They're doing a Gollum.
I'm so hesitant about because literally in the books they're just like, oh yeah, I mean, it's, they pay no mind, because in the books, I think it's Gandalf or Aragorn, I don't remember, but they were like, oh yeah, we were looking for Gollum, but like, it was a quick trip. That's fine, but like they're gonna like make it like a 2-hour epic.
Oh, like they did with The Hobbit.
Exactly.
And made it into
people are like, no, but Peter Jackson's producing, and I'm like, Peter Jackson directed the Hobbit movies, you fucking idiots.
Peter Jackson.
Listen, I like Peter Jackson. Lord of the
That
Rings,
one wasn't on Peter Jackson, though.
Trilogy. Yeah, no. I mean, that
one's on the studio.
Guillermo del Toro was supposed to direct the first
But then
Hobbit,
they told him he's making 3 movies, and he said, fuck that.
Yeah. He was going to make a Justice League Dark movie, and I think that would have been really awesome, but it just never happened.
You know what did happen? You and me watching Planet of the Apes.
Oh, I saw Smiling Friends. Like, oh, you watched Smiling Friends?
So, JJ, before we start talking about each movie,
Uh-huh.
that's what we're gonna do here. We're gonna talk about the monkeys.
It's monkey time, baby.
Where did you start your journey in the Planet of the Apes?
So I've watched I think all of them except the Tim Burton one. But I watched like the old ones. Holy shit, that was like 3 times in a row.
Yeah, I do it always in threes, bro.
God damn.
Sorry.
No, you don't need to apologize for your mental illness.
You really are on it today.
I know.
Now
I
you're
don't know
making
what
fun
it
of the
is.
mentally ill.
I'm mentally ill.
The mentally
Why are you
ill.
making fun of a mentally ill? I'm making fun of you.
The mentally ill.
You didn't say the. You said a mentally ill.
No, but you said I'm saying now the mentally ill, like pointing.
Can we talk about Planet of the Apes, or are we just gonna sit around?
Yeah. Speaking of monkeys.
What are you, Frieza? Hello, monkey.
Hello, monkeys.
Yeah. So I've seen most of the originals. I don't remember a ton about the originals because I was like middle high school, something like that.
I thought about making a.
I have seen the first one. I think last year I rewatched the first one, and then I rewatched the trilogy actually last year, and now I rewatched it again this year. For the upcoming movie. Sorry, you were gonna say something?
No, I was gonna like make a fake little like PowerPoint being like which one's Caesar and like showing you 5 different monkeys and all of them are Caesar because there's so many different timelines and Caesar appears in all of them.
Well,
at different points. There's 3 Caesars technically.
I'm only familiar with 2.
There's a Caesar in the original one.
In Conquer.
Yeah. There's Caesar in this one.
Uh-huh.
And then there's Proximus.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so I've been a fan of these movies. I've only seen Dawn in theaters. Rise I saw, I don't know, like a couple years back. I've rewatched Rise a bunch because I was like, oh, I want to like do a double feature of Rise and Dawn over and over in anticipation of War. And then War came out. I didn't see that in theaters because that came out in 2017. And I was like, I wonder why I didn't see that in theaters. And a YouTuber, he listed like a bunch of movies that came out in 2017. I'm like, oh yeah, that explains it. Like there was like a shit ton of movies that came out then, and it probably just fell through the cracks. But then eventually I saw War, and I think it's just such like watching them back to back, like what me and my girlfriend did for the past week. Basically, I was like, hey, do you want to watch these? And at first she was like, I'm like, give the first one a shot. And she was like, oh, I actually kind of like these. And then Dawn, and then we watched War, and she really liked them. She cried at the end of War. By the way, we're getting into full spoilers. And yeah, I've just always... I'm such a fan of these movies. The only problem is no one ever asked me about them. So, like, I've never gotten to, like...
talk to. I know friends.
Well, because it's not like anyone's like, oh, what do you think of the recent Planet of the Apes movies? Like, no one says that because it's kind of like a very, like, underrated series of films and stuff like that. Like, it's not brought up to discussion like Star Wars or something like that. But, like, Planet of the Apes still has a very rich history, just like Star Wars. But Star Wars is just the more popular sci-fi series. And is often brought up in discussion with sci-fi movies. Whereas, like, Planet of the Apes isn't really that much nowadays. But, like, this new trilogy is really solid. I think it's pretty much a perfect trilogy right next to Lord of the Rings. Because, like, when people say top 10 trilogies of all time, oh, gotta count Star Wars, the original trilogy. To some it might be, but Return of the Jedi is bullshit to me. Oh, Terminator, perfect trilogy. Terminator 3 sucks ass. Godfather, 2 of them are good, 3 sucks. It always, like, all these, like, quote-unquote great trilogies that people talk about, always, the third one always sucks ass. Like, even the Dark Knight trilogy, right? It's like, Batman Begins, it's pretty good. Dark Knight, obviously the best one. And then Dark Knight Rises sucks ass. It's so bad. So, like, that's not even a perfect trilogy, but it's often in those conversations. But one that always gets left out is the new Planet of the Apes trilogy, or as I call it in my video. I don't know if I coined the phrase, or it's probably been coined, but I call it the Caesar trilogy, basically just focusing on Caesar, because these movies focus solely on Caesar and human characters as well, but Caesar is the main character, and just like his character arc, and the character actually changes throughout the films. That's not often the case with a lot of like sequel movies. Usually, characters just kind of stay in the same place. Look at the MCU, for example; they just kind of stay in the same place. They're like, all right, back to default. Whereas Caesar has a legit character arc, and it has a beginning and a conclusion. And I hope they don't reincarnate him somehow. Somehow Caesar came back.
Caesar has returned.
Caesar has returned.
So
So the trilogy 1, 2, 3 movies. I mean, fair, fair.
for me, I saw the original Tim Burton with Mark Wahlberg.
That's the one I haven't seen yet.
I saw
That's
that
the
one
one.
as a kid, and I thought it was scary. I thought a lot of movies were scary when I was a kid. Like I couldn't watch Lord of the Rings for the longest time.
I can understand that. My I was afraid of the Dementors from Harry Potter.
Yeah, that's also very reasonable.
Mhm.
I just didn't like the fact that like monkeys could take over the world. That's scary.
Yeah, that's kind of a scary thought. Because, like what I said in the video, it's like it sounds so dumb. Like Planet of the Apes, that sounds stupid. And then like in the movies, it's like, oh, a monkey has a gun. Like that's the most terrifying because monkeys can rip your shit up, but they're stronger than us.
Yeah.
And like now they have a gun. It's fucking over.
And they're just smarter in these,
and smarter too.
They're like way
their height
smarter.
Intelligence. They're like way more superior to us in every way in these movies. And it's just like, oh god, that's kind of a really terrifying concept.
Yeah. And like we developed the disease, we developed the virus that causes our own demise.
I love how on Twitter someone posted a picture of Proxima Caesar, and it's like this all started because James Franco wanted to cure all time.
Yeah, it is. It is, and that's like the funniest part.
Yeah.
So I started with that. I never watched the originals, and then I saw Rise in theaters with my dad.
You know the spoiler for the very first movie, right? Like it's one of the most iconic. Like
where she comes back and she's like, "Wait, we were on Earth the entire time."
Well, it's a guy, and basically like the ape society is trying to like, or the ape elders are like, we can't let them know the truth about like this planet or whatever. And it's like, what's the truth? What's the truth? And he walks on horseback, and then you don't see it in frame, and then he's like, "Damn you all, damn you all to hell!" And it just reveals the Statue of Liberty. In the sense, it's like, oh my god, he was on Earth the entire time, because during the whole movie he thinks he's on a separate planet, but he's on Earth the entire time. And that shouldn't be a spoiler because the movie came out in 1962, and it's like the Luke, I am your father of like movie references.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing in the Tim Burton movie. Mark Wahlberg goes up the steps of the Lincoln Memorial, and he sees Lincoln as a monkey.
Did you know what they had to do for the DVD release?
What they had to do?
Because that ending came out of left field, they had a little insert, like a little card in the DVD cases explaining how that happened. Because the movie doesn't explain how that happened. They're like, it just like kind of like cuts down, and people are like, when the fuck was this set up?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that movie I've heard is bad. I haven't watched it, but I heard it's really bad. The makeup's really good though.
Yeah, it's all right. I don't remember it. Like I said, like the last time I watched it was like I was probably like 5 or 6.
Yeah.
I have it on DVD.
He's scary.
I have it on DVD somewhere.
We should watch it on stream.
Yeah, I mean it's on Disney Plus. So
it is. All of them are on Disney.
Watch it. And that's my history. You know, I watched this one Rise in theaters with my dad, and I thought it was fine. You know, I didn't remember it. Really, I was 11 years old when it came out, so like I didn't really care. I thought it was fine. You know, James Franco. That's all I needed to know.
Yeah.
And my dad likes these movies. He's a big fan of Planet of the Apes.
Like the originals or these as well?
The originals and these. I don't think he's seen Dawn or War, but he's seen Rise.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Why don't we just get into it? Rise. This is a really good start to a trilogy.
It is. It's the perfect setup, and I think they did the right thing with, like, you think it's going to be about James Franco, but really it's about Caesar the entire time. That kind of sets up the foundation for the rest of the trilogy, is it being solely focused on Caesar and what he's going through and stuff. And the motion capture with Andy Serkis is just Like he really plays Caesar very well, and the CGI holds up. There's a couple instances where it's a little but like for the most part, it holds up.
In terms of the trilogy, this is the worst one in terms of CGI.
Right.
Not in
Because they
like a
just
bad way.
get better
Yeah.
throughout every single movie.
Yeah. We'll talk about Kingdom when we get there.
Yeah.
I think Rise has the worst CGI, but it's still like you said, really really good. And like you said, like I think half of the movie you feel like you're in James Franco's perspective, but then once Caesar gets locked up in the shelter, it is solely on Caesar now. It's Caesar's story 100%. There's no denying it. And seeing him grow and experience being with the other apes, and seeing him even talking to you know what's even crazier? Maurice knew sign language before he even had the disease in him. So like it just goes to show like how smart apes can be, and how much stronger they become when they get the virus. And I think it's also really good, you know, with how they portray Caesar's character, who they see him in the best circumstances with humans, which is with James Franco, and in the worst circumstances, which is with Draco Malfoy.
Yeah.
And then and then having him still love James Franco's character, love Will, because that's his dad. That he grew up learning to be human through James Franco's character. So it was really nice to see that growth, and seeing now his human side trying to develop a society for all the other apes that he saved.
Yeah, no, I think this is a really good start to the trilogy, and that's what I see it as. Is this is just setting up everything so we can get to like the really good movies. I mean, this is a really good movie with a pretty good story, but a great character. Because I feel like this movie kind of could have been directed by anybody. You know what I mean? Whereas Dawn and War very much Matt Reeves films, and like very much have like a voice to them, whereas like Rise, you know, like I don't really care about James Franco, and James Franco like kind of feels like he's phoning it in some scenes, but like it's still, it's not terrible, but I don't know where I was going with that. I just like shitting on James Franco.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Yeah. But I like, especially with Caesar's character, his development is like, oh, I want to be like humans, but throughout the entire movie, James Franco, even though he knows that Caesar's intelligent, still treats him like an ape, and Caesar's clearly not just a regular ape. And then Caesar has slowly throughout the movie realizes that, and that's when he's like, at the end with James Franco, he's like, this is my home now. Like, you know, I want to be with my people, where like I'm seen as me kind of thing. Whereas James Franco, throughout the entire movie, no matter how smart Caesar was, just saw him, oh, that's my ape kind of thing. Oh,
yeah,
he still has him on a leash or whatever. Like, I think there's that scene where he's like, Caesar, we're going home, and he's got the leash in his hand, and Caesar's just like, get out of here, you know. That's just so, and a lot of the acting through Caesar is not dialogue. It's strictly, you know, I mean, there's sign language, but like it's mostly just facial and stuff like that. Um, I just, Caesar's one of like the best movie characters in a while, honestly. At least in the modern time, the past decade. He's really, really fleshed out. They're just starting to flesh him out in this one, but it's still really good character writing.
Yeah, it's like you could definitely tell that it's like it's only just starting for Caesar as like he's finally become his own person. Now let's see how he evolves in his new environment.
Yeah,
he's finally realized like, oh, I am more than just ape. I am like I'm a person. I'm a living thing that deserves to be treated as like,
I'm a higher intelligence.
Yeah, that deserves to be treated with respect and kindness and
yeah,
and not be shot at by.
The villain in this one is a little cartoony.
I don't even feel like there's a villain in it.
Well,
to be honest,
to me, it would be the guy who owns the lab or whatever, and he's just like, wait a minute, this can make money. Make more. It's just like, oh my god.
Well, the thing is, like at the beginning of the movie, he was like, "Sure, let's do it. If you believe in it, we'll do it."
No, but then there's a point where he's like, "I'm not gonna fucking further your research. Get out of here." And then he's like, "I tested it on my dad though, and it works." And he's like, "Make 500 of these. I don't give a fuck. Don't sleep a wink."
Well, yeah, because James Franco proved it worked.
Well, yeah, but like he's not seeing it as like, oh, this is a miracle. He's seeing like, oh, I can make money out of this. Like he doesn't actually care. He's just like, oh, profit. Because during the film, he's just like, make sure you develop this before anyone else does. Start from square one. Make sure because other people are developing.
Yeah,
too.
No,
because
that makes sense. That's he's a
coming
business
at it,
owner.
They're all money. So he's the villain.
So a business owner.
And also, he's just like, I don't.
The
give
only
a fuck.
time he gets cartoony
like,
is when he gets on the helicopter
literally
and starts murdering the dumb monkeys with the police.
Literally, he goes,
"Why did
kill
he
them
get
all
on?
In the beginning of the movie?" Like he's a villain. Like you're not gonna stop me from not saying. Like it's a whole commentary. Well,
I felt
okay,
like
it
he
depends
wasn't really
on
a villain. I didn't really get it. I was
it
like,
depends on your point of view of the movie. Because if you're siding with the apes, you're gonna see him as a villain. If you're siding with the humans, you're gonna say, "Oh, well, he's just a businessman. These are business properties." And I think both point of views are correct. It depends on how you watch the movie.
No, I was 100% with the apes, but like I was just like.
But you liked when he genocide?
No,
all the apes.
No, I was just like, okay, whatever. He's just doing his job. He's like, get rid of the apes. Like, where are they gonna go?
See, you're not for a change. I'm for the revolution. I'm with Caesar. Caesar would have kicked.
You're gonna give these apes to a zoo.
No, he killed them all.
Exactly.
He did that in the beginning.
That's what I'm saying. You're gonna give all these apes that have been.
Or you can let them back into their habitat.
No,
that costs more money. Just kill them.
Just kill them. So it only felt like he became the villain when he gets on the helicopter with the fucking policeman.
I'm just so shocked that you think that because he's so cartoonish.
And I'm like,
to me at least, he's so cartoonish.
To me, that's when he became a cartoon because I was like, why are you
getting like,
on the helicopter?
Caesar, grab my hand. And then Caesar's like, nah, Koba, take care of this. And he's like, oh, you motherfucker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not that ape. You stupid ape.
Yeah.
That was the only time I thought he was like a villain. Otherwise, I just thought he was like just an asshole.
Nah, he was definitely a villain.
I didn't think he was a villain at all.
He was an asshole.
Just an asshole. We have assholes.
He's a bad guy.
Koba's an asshole.
He is the bad guy. No, but Koba, there's reasoning for him because he was like, he's just been through the circle a million times with all these experiments and stuff like that. And that's where like we lead into Dawn, which is like, you know, Caesar was raised by love for humans, and Koba, throughout all his life, has been raised by hate, and that's where the two ideologies clash and stuff. Just to wrap up on Rise, I think it's a good start. I don't think it's like 9 out of 10, like amazing, great, but it is a very good start to the trilogy. Without this, like the other movies kind of don't work.
Yeah, no, absolutely. These movies don't work.
Yeah.
Dawn is my favorite.
It's my favorite. I go in between War and Dawn. The thing that pushes me to Dawn is Dawn's pacing is really, really good.
Yeah. Dude, it's so good.
That opening shot with Caesar's eyes and just slowly zooms out and he's just like, hold. Oh, cinema.
And I like what it does, like this like fake little like Hamlet story where like Caesar's the king and his son is like, I hate you, Dad. Like an angsty teen phase.
Yeah. Well, he's like, I'm going to go toward my edgy uncle.
Yeah, I'm going to go to my uncle who wants to kill all
He
humans.
gives me cigarettes and lets me drink a sip of his beer.
Me porn.
Whoa,
yeah.
Whoa. Wait, did your uncle show you porn? Wait,
he gave me their
where
old
did that come
pornos.
From? What's a porno? Just like sticks?
Yeah, just sticks on the floor. He gives me weed. What do you give me, Dad?
Oh, I thought you said he gives me weed vibes.
No, weed.
He's like, whatever, Dad. He runs the Naruto style.
Yeah.
So just like.
Also, the CGI in this movie is just so much better than the first one. Holy shit.
Yeah, it's definitely.
Holy shit. It truly doesn't feel like they're like CGI.
Yeah.
It, honest to God, feels like they're wearing costumes at some points. Especially when they zoom in on like any of the ape's eyes or face.
Yeah.
Like it looks like makeup.
Yeah.
Like it look. That's
Well,
how
it's the
good
same
it is.
production studio as the CGI studio as they've done some Marvel stuff. They've done the Lord of the Rings. That's
Okay.
directly where Andy Serkis was like, "Hey, get these guys." So they got those guys. Yeah, they've done a lot of good CGI.
And just like you were saying before
I
about
think they
like
did Davy Jones too. That's like the three perfect CGI characters are Davy Jones from Pirates of the Caribbean. That still looks really good today. Gollum, even though it came out in like 2003, Gollum looks amazing still by today's standards. And Caesar as well. And these movies are made in like the 100 million to like right below 200 million range. And Thor: Love and Thunder, which is a $400 million production, can't get a fucking floating head correct. It's just kind of odd.
no, it just shows that they were rushed. This was made. This was given enough time in the oven to cook.
Yeah, and a lot of this movie was shot on site. There was obviously with the fight with Koba and Caesar on the top of the falling tower. That was all
Really?
soundstage.
There was a soundstage.
But like, it's I'm
Really fight?
I'm saying that because a lot of like the actual movie you would think is all soundstage, but no, it's actually shot on location.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
And you were saying before that like Dawn and War are
Mhm.
very much you feel a distinct style. Holy shit. Matt Reeves saying, yeah, let's use film.
hmm
Such a fucking smart move.
yeah,
Man. This movie is shot so well. Like you were saying, the first one can feel like anyone can direct it. This second one and the third one, the cinematography is improved so much.
yeah. I think it's either the Dawn one or the War cinematographer that Matt Reeves also used for the Batman. I forget which one. I think it's Dawn's cinematographer to him for the Batman.
Mm-hmm. I just think like they fucking nailed it with the let's see. I'll exit out of this real quick to kind of help you out with this guy.
And isn't it crazy that like, yeah, the Planet of the Apes movies have really good cinematography. Like just that sentence alone, without any context, sounds really dumb, but it's honestly like it's true. Oh, it must have been War then.
Well, it's the same. He's did the
Oh, he did both.
photography for
Oh,
both.
maybe I mixed it up. Never mind. Sorry. Brain fart.
You're wrong.
Yep, wrong.
You're
Wrong,
wrong.
wrong.
Stupid.
Stupid, ugly,
Wrong,
dumb,
idiot.
garbage take.
Actually, a garbage take.
Oh.
Ah! Start yelling for no reason.
Jack, stop. Oh. Earth come down. Is your friend okay? I don't know what's wrong with him, Ma.
He's turning into an ape.
Oh, God.
Let's see. I'm gonna find it.
Where were you?
And I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Kill myself.
I actually really I think this has the best human characters out of the trilogy. I really like Gary Oldman's character because you kind of from the ape's point of view you would see him as a bad guy, but really you're just like, hey, put yourself in his shoes. What are you gonna do? You know, he's like, hey, this water dam literally gives us electricity. If the apes aren't willing to give it up, you kill them. Like, and it's like, yeah, like what other options are there after that? Because I really like the fact that with this sequel, they could have easily been like, oh, we're during the apocalypse and society is still semi-functional. And like, we go visit a politician's room and see what he... Instead, they're just like, humanity is pretty much wiped out. And here's like, let's just say like a bowl of humanity. And then war is like a speckle left of humanity left. Like, there's no one. You know, with post-apocalypse, it's like, oh my god, most of the humans are dead, and there's like a whole ass like nation of people. Whereas like this one is like maybe 300 to 500 people live in this like area, and then after that, there's like not a lot of people.
Yeah, there's nothing. I mean, that's what they were saying. Maurice was like, it's been 2 years since we've seen a human.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, they're probably dead now.
Yeah.
And I think like that like puts on when you in the first movie. I like the progression in the movie, like you were saying. First movie, obviously, way more humans than probably apes.
Yep.
Second movie, a lot of apes, a lot of humans, but
It's a good balance.
It's a good balance. The third one and the new one,
Mostly apes.
there's not a, there's barely humans.
There's literally that little camp.
Yeah.
Of humans, and it's smaller than the like city in Dawn. Like I love how, because that's not like, no one says like the human population has really gone down. Like there's no that, you just see it visual throughout the entire trilogy. Like it's visually shown. No one's just like exposition time. Like there's not really any of that in these movies. There's no like one guy like, here's what happened, because we already have Rise. We already know what happened.
Yeah, I also think it's kind of funny in all these movies, including the new one, they have to like recap it in like a Star Wars like written.
That is
thing.
funny. Even with the newest one.
And then I'm saying, the new one had it too. The new one was like, there was an ape named Caesar, and he freed all the apes.
Well, I think these movies didn't like go back to back. I think a lot of time was
it took like this came
each
out.
Of them.
Each one was 3 years. Each one took 3 years to make.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, dude, Dawn is like, I don't know what about it really gets me, but just like the way you can tell that there is a lot of love going into this movie is kind of crazy. And then also just like in terms of the story, it's really cool because where in the first one and in the third one, I guess there's kind of like a very clear like who's a villain and who's a good guy.
Yeah.
Whereas in Dawn, everything's just kind of like everyone has their own perspective, and it's really just based on how you feel.
Well, it's
for each character who's the villain and who's the good guy.
It's literally mirrored, because you have, I just call him Sean because he looks like Sean from The Walking Dead. You know, the guy who was always like whipping out his gun, like, get the fuck away from me, apes.
Yeah.
You know, you have him who incited this whole incident to begin with by shooting Ash, Bright Eyes' friend. And then Koba literally initiates the whole human war by shooting Caesar and telling the apes, like, hey, look, they killed Caesar, let's go get him. Like, both, like, they're literally the exact same thing done on both sides, essentially. Like, it's really clever, and I really like the whole, and I touched upon it before, like, Koba raised on hate, Caesar raised by love by humans, and Caesar keeps forgiving him, but at the end, I think Caesar always kind of knew that Koba had to die, because they're both strict in their ideologies, and both of them are not willing to change. They're not willing to compromise at all, because they start out kind of like brothers at the beginning, but then slowly but surely Koba just gets more and more vicious and more power hungry.
Well, yeah, because I think it's more than just power hungry. It's like he believes this is the only way to protect the apes,
right?
Kind of in the way that like Proximus was in Kingdom. Like, we can't trust the humans.
Yeah,
we can't trust them. I know we can't, because look at what they did to me. Look, like, Caesar, what did they do to you? Made you feel happy and warm? Good for you, man.
When he's like, human work,
yeah,
human work, and it's like, yeah, they fucked him up.
They beat the shit out of him. They made him. They treated him like an animal.
Oh, also, we totally forgot to touch upon the fucking no scene in Rise. Amazing.
Oh yeah, that's pretty cool.
That's one of my favorite cinematic moments, where he just, because he hasn't talked throughout the entire thing. You don't even know if they're going to talk throughout this movie. You think it's just all going to be sign language, and then he just goes, no! And, like, it's really good sound design by nothing happening. And then that wham when he hits him with his stick. Anyways.
Yeah.
But Dawn also has plenty of iconic scenes. Like, one of my favorite shots is when Koba kills that guy in the tank, and that's all in camera. That's not CGI at all. That's all in camera. The tank's still spinning around, and he's just shooting people. Like,
I think another good scene in this movie. Caesar, weak.
Oh yeah.
Koba, weaker.
Dude, how do they make the hardest lines without putting more than like 5 fucking words?
Yeah,
in the script.
It's awesome. It's so good, because that's the other thing.
Because it's almost like when Koba talks, he's almost mad that he has to speak like a human. So it's like, Caesar is like he's always like really aggressive whenever he says anything, whereas Caesar's more calm and collected with like his words.
Mm-hmm.
It's just it's beautiful, 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 beautiful.
I think like it also like to go with what you're saying with like the few words, it just gives that much more credit to the not only the the CGI team,
Mm-hmm.
but also the voice the motion
Writers.
capture actors
Oh yeah, yeah.
actors like they really got into it. Like
Mm-hmm.
I've been watching like the press tour for Kingdom,
Mm-hmm.
and the actors are just they go nuts with
They
how
have
they
they have
act.
a little person that like helps them coordinate like how apes would move and stuff like that.
And they are so good
Mm-hmm.
at it. It's scary.
Like you never once in these movies are like, oh, that's a person in a mocap suit. Like they are so believable as apes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're so believable as characters.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's why I'm saying like you can't. In this one, there is no like villain.
There's no traditional villain. Yeah.
Like everybody's like, I can understand Koba, I can understand Caesar,
Mm-hmm.
I can understand
Gary
Gary
Oldman.
Oldman,
Yeah.
I can understand Jason Clarke.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can understand every single character and their faction.
Yeah. Also, Maurice is a really good side character, and he shines more in War, but he also has a good spotlight in Dawn, just like being like Caesar's like voice of reason and stuff like that. So Maurice is a really good character.
Yeah, Maurice is.
That's actually motion cap by a lady. It's not a guy. It's a lady.
Oh, very cool.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't know that.
Yep.
Didn't fucking care. I hate women. He said not me, but I do agree with it. Yeah, I think this is the best one. Like it has a really good, and I mean, dude, come on, how can you not feel for the ending of the movie where he's just like, now we have to go to war for 2 years.
Yeah, all because of Koba.
Yeah, now it's time to go to war.
Yeah, because Caesar should have nipped Koba in the bud a long time ago, but throughout the movie, he has such pride in apes. He's like, oh, apes are better than humans, or whatever. And even he's a hypocrite.
Well, no,
because he's like, what's their one rule? Ape, not kill ape, right? And
Yeah.
at the very end, he lets Koba go, going against his rule, sure, for the right reason, but still, if one person is allowed to do it, then what? Well, why can't I do it? Well, I hate this guy. Why can't like it? Just like it'll all go down, and that's his name is Caesar. It's almost like the rise and fall of Julius Caesar. What? Except he doesn't get backstabbed.
Yeah, and isn't a fucking dictator.
Well, I think he does in war.
He's not a dictator in war.
No,
He's
not a dictator, but he very much views himself like Dawn. He views himself as a leader. In war, he views himself as a messiah. He's like, I'm the only one who can do this. Like, it's just me. He puts everything on his shoulders, pretty much.
Yeah, that's not a dictator.
No.
Because, like, as a dictator, he's like, I'm going to do this because I have the
All right,
power.
Cool. I was just trying to make a cool parallel, but I guess fuck me, right?
Yeah, your parallel sucks. Your parallel sucks. The other thing is kind of funny because they reference the.
It's just a man with a fucking avocado scooter sock. Fucking my way.
Dude, you're matching shirt and pants. Shut the fuck up.
Ava.
You're going to talk about clothes, bro. You got no drip, no bitches.
This is all math.
No.
With the fucking bright yellow shirt with the gray shorts, motherfucker.
No.
Face.
No
all
drip. No bitches.
That
no car.
That V line is almost to your fucking.
Nah, it's because his shirt's really big.
Oh, yeah, okay.
This doesn't got it. It's not a V-neck.
Sure.
Dumb fuck.
Well, it sure looks like it.
Yeah, because you want to see them titties.
Oh boy.
Yeah, Dawn's the best one, man. I think so because like we're gonna go into war now.
Yeah.
And I think with war, what I don't like about it,
I like that Smiling Friends is in war. Oh, never mind.
I like that.
Real quick tangent. We don't gotta. Have you been watching Smiling Friends?
I watched all of it, not the new season though.
Oh my god, it's so funny.
The new season is out.
It's really good. Yeah.
Is it on HBO Max?
It should be on now. It like premieres one night and then the night after
it'll go on Max.
Yeah.
Okay, because my coworker was telling me about it, and like, yeah, the new season's really good, and I go on Max and it's not there.
No, yeah. It's not premiered. It's day after.
I want to look at it now because I'm like autistic. I gotta check.
Oh, I know.
Uh, Filing friends.
Or it should be. I don't know. I watched it on. I actually watched it on Twitter. Someone posted the whole episode there. I'm like,
Oh
oh
yeah, there we go. Both
just
of them
watch
are
it.
out. Both of the new episodes are out.
Nice.
So, yeah. What I don't like about War is that,
Pacing.
yeah, I just
It's
like,
slow. Like Dawn was
dude,
kind of
the
slow,
last
but
half
oh
of the
my
movie.
god.
Oh my god, get out of the cages already. Oh my god.
Well, I think
How is this little
I'll,
girl
I'll,
going back and
yes, that
forth?
was fucking stupid when she's walking and like there's only guards on the tower and she's walking in the middle and
Bro,
no one sees her.
no, she literally gets caught in a spotlight and she doesn't, like,
Yeah,
no alarms are ringing.
no, not at all.
It's like, what the fuck is happening?
That was
I
like,
will say, I think that's the most interesting part of the story. That little girl
yeah,
being like, seeing that the virus has evolved, which I think is
which
really
is cool because it follows up with the original movies because the first movie, like the humans are ape-like. They don't know how to talk or anything like that, which we'll also get into Kingdom. Um, so it's like that time, and these like movies are like not even like officially prequels because they still haven't tied into the original. Like, there's no like end credit scene where like fucking a spaceship lands and it's like, oh, we're back on, oh, we're on a different planet now. Like, there
It's
hasn't
its
been
own.
that.
I mean, it might with Kingdom, but we'll talk about that when we talk about
Yeah,
that. Yeah, I just am like to me, it's just like I still think it's really good. Once again, Matt Reeves fucking tears it up, dude, with the cinematography, the directing, with the actors,
mm-hmm.
the story. Like, I think the story, while it is slow, is still really good.
It's really good.
And it tells a really compelling story with Caesar.
I think the reason why people didn't like this because during the time the marketing was very much like war for Planet of the Apes. There's going to be battles. There's going to be this and that, and like the movie is actually a really in-depth character study and like a
Mm-hmm.
slow pacing odyssey. Like, I wouldn't even call it like an adventure or action movie for the most part. It's just mostly like a character drama
Yeah, no,
throughout most of it.
there's no action.
The
Only
first
at the
half
beginning
is
and the
just
end.
them going on horseback, and then the last half is just them in cages, and then the movie ends.
Yeah, and that's why like I feel like the pacing is so bad.
I feel like the title is a little misleading with War. I feel like it should have been called something else, but War is a very good title. Although these titles are long as fuck.
Yeah, War for the Planet of the Apes.
It's almost like Kingdom Hearts Fragment Passage Birth by Sleep 0.2.
Dude, you just said words, man.
Yeah. You didn't absorb any of them?
You did speak.
Yeah, I did. I tried.
You spoke the true.
I did. At least I think I got it all right. It might have been longer, honestly.
Could have been. I wouldn't.
We'll never know. We're not going to look it up.
Know.
No.
I also think Woody Harrelson is like such a stupid. I think the Colonel is such a stupid fucking villain.
I think he's too one note.
Yeah, I like when he dies.
I think that's the point because Caesar has always seen himself as a leader, and Woody Harrelson is like a mirrored version of that. But if Caesar wanted to become a deity or god, because the humans literally worship him, like they like show up in front of his fucking little fortress, and it's like, I forget what they say. It's like blood runs through the grass. I'm gonna get up out of my ass.
They just scream. They just scream.
And I like how there's actually no redeemable human character. Like, you think it's being set up with Pastor, that's the guy with the bow and arrow, but like even then he basically kills Caesar at the end.
Yeah, he's the one who kills Caesar.
There was a point I was going to make, but
I like that that there is conflict between the apes in terms of the fact that some left and are like, yeah, let's support the humans.
Yeah.
Which is kind of crazy.
That opening scene is sick, where it's just like, let me get the gun, and he's like pulling the gun from the backpack of the ape. I'm like, that's really smart because guns are very heavy, and why not just have a gorilla fucking carry them?
Yeah.
Or a giant fucking radio.
I also think Bad Ape is actually like surprisingly a good character to add
Right,
in
you
this
would think
story.
he would be annoying, but he's actually very well. He's good because this movie's dark, so you kind of need that levity.
Yeah. So
And I like this because it does what revenge stories do well, and the fact that it's not just generic. Like it's not like it could have easily Caesar goes into this human camp, becomes John Wick, and just one by one. But like it's actually like in the middle of the movie, he sees his son across the field. He's like, "Oh, what have I done?" Like he realizes it halfway through the movie. Like, "Oh, this was I fucked up."
oh dude, that's not good.
That's
Oh man, that's my boy.
not good.
And yeah, and that's where like, dude, when they got in the camp, bro, that like put me out of the movie. Like I think when they got to the camp, that's when I started being like, okay, I got stuff to do.
There's not a lot of action that happens at the camp.
Yeah, like I'll come back.
I still really like it. Like I really like that section as well. But I do acknowledge that I watch Dawn more than I would ever War. Like War, I would only watch if I'm watching the entire trilogy. Whereas Dawn, like I could just put that on whenever, you know. It's like the perfect middle movie. But War is good because it's the conclusion of Caesar's arc. As much as we're kind of nitpicking, or not even nitpicking, but like criticizing it now, like for Caesar's character, everything so revolving around Caesar is really good stuff.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, I really like it. I like how the movie starts with Caesar,
and even like Maurice being like, "You're acting like Koba right now." He's like, "Yeah, I'm not Koba."
What did you just say?
Yeah.
You know what, Maurice?
And then
you're
that-
right. I was kind of like Koba.
Yeah, and then that vision where he's just like Koba, and then Koba's like, "Hey, ape, not kill ape," being like, "You're a fucking hypocrite, idiot, loser."
You're gonna kill tons of apes,
Yeah.
idiot.
Just
dummy.
for your stupid power trip.
No, to your stupid revenge. Because he's just doing it for revenge.
Yeah.
It's not even a power
Like literally,
trip.
he was just like, you know, because Caesar, as we know him, would be like, "Oh, there's a girl here, let's help her," or whatever. But like literally, he's like, I don't give a fuck about this little girl. Goodbye.
We don't need her.
And Maurice is really, like, let's take her.
To be fair, he's like, you want to take a little girl to a suicide mission?
I mean, that is fair, but
And then Maurice
but
is
it's
like,
just very.
but come on, Caesar. And then he's like, fine.
But in Dawn, he was just like, all right, let's give these humans a chance, and he keeps giving them a chance. Whereas like this one, straight off the bat, looks at her and like, I'm not giving this motherfucker a chance. So this is gonna slow us down.
Yeah, he's just gonna slow us down.
Yeah.
It's not that he hates the girl. He's just like, we don't need her.
I think he does. I think in this one, Caesar legitimately hates humans just because he's such blinded by rage. But it's not like Kratos, like Zeus, calm down.
Yeah.
Like he's just like very internal. Like I'm gonna fucking kill this guy, and I'm gonna see the bloods run red, but like very internally. That instead of like outspoken like a Kratos or a fucking Doom guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I like War. War is very good. Especially the death. The death is great because again, great cinematography. So Caesar and Maurice are talking to, and I got teary eyed. I'm not gonna lie. They're talking,
Bitch.
and then shut the fuck up. And then Maurice is just like, you know, your son will remember you and stuff like that. You cried during Iron Claw? What? Daddy, it's okay to cry. Pussy, no, it's not.
Don't cry,
Pull yourself
loser.
out. Just because half your family killed themselves doesn't mean you should
You
cry.
get to cry. You have no right to cry.
My sister,
You kill yourself.
my family watched that movie, and my sister had to leave because she's like, "Oh my, another one killed himself." I'm fucking out. She's like, "I can't. It's too depressing."
It really is.
My parents did not like that movie strictly because it was like it's just so depressing. I'm like, yeah, but it's really good, even though it's
the
depressing.
reality.
Yeah, and they're like, it's too sad. I'm like, what is that logic? Oh, this movie made me really sad.
I gotta be happy when I watch a movie. I gotta have my action figures.
Yeah, I gotta see the Marvel Chris Hemsworth go.
I gotta see Furiosa and
Furiosa looks dope. Don't even fucking joke about that. That
relax.
That looks good.
Is it by George Miller?
Yeah. Yep. That old guy is still making movies.
Yeah, it's crazy.
He actually said he wanted to direct a Thor movie. I'm like, Kevin Feige, if you allow this,
I could see it.
Step the fuck out the room. Don't give George no notes.
George doesn't even need notes. All his scripts are just
don't fucking acknowledge anything in the MCU
JJ,
at all.
All of his Mad Max scripts have just been shot lists.
Yeah, exactly. But like, Kevin would be like, well, actually, it's like, don't even fucking tell him anything. Don't even talk. Don't even breathe in his direction.
Don't talk
Just
about
let
Marvel
him
movies.
do his all that. Don't even say like, hey, you got to watch the rest of it. No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. No,
George Miller.
He's George fucking Miller. Like,
he made the greatest movie ever made.
Mad Max Fury Road.
Yeah.
That's
the greatest movie ever made. Citizens Kane can eat my ass.
No, you have to.
I've never seen Citizen
Rosebud.
Kane.
Rosebud is the name of the sleigh.
People love Citizen Kane.
It's just because it's a classic, and it's like, oh, I mean,
it's considered the #1 movie on like a bunch of like people's like top 100 movies.
That's just a bunch of old farts. Listen, it was the first of its kind.
Look, the best movie is the Emoji Movie. Let's be
with what's his face, Professor X voicing the shit emoji. But war, what is it good for? And in this movie, it's not good for anything. But I also like how Caesar doesn't really fuck up the human side of things. He's just trying to make his people escape. The humans just kind of kill each other. Like even the avalanche, like that was all caused by Woody Harrelson's people. So like humanity just kills each other every single time. Like Caesar just wanted to get his apes the fuck out of there. He's not like kill every single one of these. He's like, all right, let's escape. But like literally the humans are going up. We don't even know the name of the other humans. They just kind of show up, and I think that's
they see Caesar, and they just like one of them's about to like put his gun up before the fucking avalanche.
Yeah,
and like that's what Woody Harrelson was saying. He's like, bro, you think I'm bad? They're just as bad. They'll fuck you
Woody
up.
Harrelson, the really good. There's 2 good scenes with that, and Woody Harrelson does a good job. But like again, his character is very one note. Is when Caesar's trying to stop everyone from all the other apes from picking up rocks and building the wall and stuff, and then he sacrifices himself for the old ape, and then like Woody Harrelson puts the gun to his head first, and he's like, fuck that, and then shoots the other one. He's like, that was all for fucking nothing. Now I'm just gonna fucking, am I gonna shoot you? Nah, just tie him up. Like, I thought that was a really good scene, being like, listen, revolution isn't gonna happen here. Like, it's not happening. Like, oh, I'm gonna sacrifice, I'm just gonna shoot that guy. I'm gonna shoot that guy.
And I'm gonna shoot the next one.
Yeah, and I'm gonna shoot the next one. So,
and the next one.
Don't try. And even like when Caesar's like, give him food and water and stuff, he's like, all right, you want some water? And then the gorilla donkey or whatever just like pours him on his head. He doesn't even get the fucking water. And the scene where he's just like, my son started turning primal, and I could see the love in his eyes, and I just fucking put that fucker down. It's like, oh, you were just straight up a villain. You were just straight up evil incarnate.
Yeah, you have no feelings. Like, you have no compassion.
Because he's very much like, well, humans are superior, so we have to take over. Like, we can't not be the superior species.
We are the superior species. Yeah. This is our planet.
But, like, literally, he gets the disease from a fucking doll. Like, the little girl, when she carries the doll, and that's how it gets transferred. That's a really good scene where Caesar is, like, pointing the gun at him, and then he can't talk, so he's like, fucking do it. And then Caesar's just like, I'm not going to do it. And then he just, like, blows his own brains out, which is kind of the Batman equivalent. Like, I won't kill you, but I don't have to save you either.
Yeah.
It's like, you did watch him kill himself. You didn't do it yourself, but
you allowed it.
You allowed it, yeah.
Yeah, you allowed him to die. I think, though, like, Caesar's, like, I think in that moment, Caesar was more so, like, it's pathetic at this point.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, what's going on here is just pathetic.
He should have stood up in front of the camp and, like, been like, I have no enemies. And they're like, oh, you read Vinland Saga? Oh!
Yeah, and then he specifically quotes, he's like, and when Thorfinn said...
Yeah, when Thorfinn said... And all his soldiers are locked in. Woody's like, I don't read manga. And they all just fucking...
I don't read that gay shit.
Yeah, gay.
Murders all the gorillas.
No, he goes, I hated season 2. And everyone turns their guns around.
Yeah, the humans are like, we're actually on the ape side now.
Yeah.
Guns down, Woody Harrelson.
Oh my god. we went on so many side tangents. So when Caesar dies, the camera tilts up while apes begin to notice because literally it's the end of his journey. It's the end of the trilogy, and he's like, "All right, I see they're in the freelance."
Did you
So
watch
we
that guy's
literally
video?
lift them from
Yeah,
yeah.
fucking,
I credit him in my recent video. But it literally pants up and like I didn't notice that till he pointed it out. Like, oh my god, Story Street, that's his name.
yeah.
I also credit him in my video. So yeah. Kingdom.
All right.
So we haven't talked about this at all. So
I haven't told you anything. You haven't told me
say your
anything.
thoughts.
It's
Just
the
2
worst
words.
one, man. It's the worst one.
I
I don't like it.
like it a little bit better than Rise, but only by a little bit.
I think it's like, I don't think it's the worst one, and like it's a terrible movie.
It is directed by the same guy who made the Maze Runner movies, so it kind of has that YA feeling to it, where it's like the Caesar trilogy feels very mature, and this one feels like a
it's
YA.
for kids. No one in the Eagle clan dies except for the dad.
Yeah, which is like every YA novel on the face of the fucking planet.
It's
on
very
the Planet
much
of the Apes.
It's very much a coming of age story. It's like, because you're following Noah. I will say this: I fucking hate May, dude. She pissed me off.
That's what I like about it, though.
Noah is so endearing. He's so kind. He's so honest. He's like the perfect character. And then May is just like, yeah, but I don't trust him.
I like
the guy who saves me time and time again.
Well, you should have noticed there was something wrong with May immediately when she spoke. And like, oh, what else are you hiding? And I think this character, if obviously they're going to continue with other movies, they said this one might be another trilogy, but then they said if it's really successful, we might develop 9 movies. I'm like, don't turn this into the MCU, please stop. But if this whole movie is to set up May being the main antagonist throughout the whole trilogy,
she is.
Then this is awesome. But they could very much well in the sequel just be like, oh no, now May understands, in which totally squandered opportunity. Like, so the next movies really have to like
it's
be
very clear
better than Kingdom. Like it can't be oh they're the same or oh the second one's worse. Like any movie going forward with this has to be better than Kingdom, because Kingdom is very much the feeling of Rise. This is a lot of setup and a lot of world building. Now we know the world. Second one really needs to dive in like Dawn.
Mm-hmm.
And I like the fact that, see, this is how you know I read all the Dune books. Ready? I like how they betray legends in this, because Caesar's a legend, but people still get his sayings wrong. The orange monkey guy, it's like, oh yeah, like Caesar lived in a time when apes and humans lived together in harmony. That's not true at all. But that's legends. Legends are just fantasies of actual real events. Much like Paul Atreides, which I loved in those comment sections. You didn't read all the books. You would know in the last three books, it's set 300,000 years later or some shit like that. And like Paul's a legend, and they get shit wrong about him because it's been so long. So when people in the comments say, you didn't read the entire series, Paul is barely a character in those seasons or in those books, because by the third one he's a dead.
He's a dead?
He's fucking idiots. He's a dead. Like I hate, like if someone were to comment, oh, clearly you didn't read the first 3 books, I'd be like, all right, but motherfucker, like Paul doesn't show up in the last 3.
Yeah.
He's just a legend, you fucking idiots. Anyway, sorry, I needed to get that off my chest. Also, I really like those comments. They were, especially one of the recent ones that I showed you.
Shit was so
that
funny.
One was really funny.
Garbage. Frank Herbert loves liberals and the left wing shit.
And he's like, stories could be not what the author intended. I'm like, what are you saying right now? If the author meant to say a message, you could take away something different from that. Sure, that doesn't distract from the fact that it is about that, though.
Now, in that regard, it's like it's interpretation versus perception. It's
Yeah.
intention versus perception.
Listen, if Frank Herbert says,
I
"Hey,
can
I
intend.
made this book series about warning about charismatic leaders and why they're bad," then that's probably the main point of the book.
JJ, I can ram my car into your car
Yeah.
and say I did it to protect you.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But you clearly
Yeah.
perceived me running into your
Yeah,
car
yes.
as an act of violence.
Yes, yes.
That's what's happening here.
Yeah.
Except this guy's saying
They're protecting.
this guy is
they're
saying it
protecting
because he's
Joel.
like,
That's what they're doing. They're protecting Joel.
yeah.
Joel should have let Ellie die for the cure of humanity, but we like Joel. But Joel's cool.
Yeah.
Genocide's fine as long as a cool white dude's doing it.
As long as a cool Texas white man does it.
Yeah, exactly.
Now it's a Hispanic Texan, so we're all good.
Great.
So it's legit. It's
Yeah.
cool. Helping the British little girl.
Yeah. Anyways, but yeah, I thought this movie. See, the movie CG, because the apes in the original trilogy weren't doing anything crazy. Like in this one, they're jumping through buildings. They're doing a lot more action. It looks fake and less real. Whereas like in the original trilogy, like they do everything within the means that an ape could realistically do. You know what I mean? Whereas like when they're swinging through bit, like it looks all
it
CGI
was
fake.
CGI. It was.
Yeah. No, but I mean like with Dawn and stuff like that's all shot on location. Still looks the environments look very realistic.
Fucking shit.
But like when they're going through the buildings and stuff, like it's all not
It's all
real.
fake.
And you
it's
can
all
tell.
fake. The only time that was ever real was like the zebra scene.
I also feel like these movies don't need to be. Not all these movies need to be 2.5 hours long. I feel like this could have been a cool hour 30, hour 45.
Because it was the same issue, bro. I don't care that they're enslaved right now. Just get on with the plot. We don't need to know.
Wait, who's enslaved?
The Eagle Clan. They get taken
Right.
by
Yeah.
Proximus's people.
Yeah.
I will say, Proximus, bro.
Also, why do they need the birds? Like just because they're cool?
I think it's just a bond. They never really explain the bird's purpose.
Yeah,
You're
like
right.
do they
Holy
deliver
shit.
messages?
Holy shit! You're right. Why are they bird tamers? Maybe it's some like
because it's not like a religious thing, or it
I was
doesn't
gonna say
come off that way.
maybe it is a religious thing and it just didn't come off that way to us.
Maybe that's true, just because they like
This
never even heard of Caesar,
yeah,
or whatever, until the priest, I'll just call him the priest ape, talks to Noah about that. But I also like the priest thinks he's very philosophical and he's like saying basic human stuff. I can't think of an example off the top of my head, but you know what I mean. It's like,
dude, I will say I liked his character.
Mhm.
There's so much goofy shit in this movie.
yeah,
Just him dying that way. He dies.
that was. I thought
That
for
was
sure.
so
I was like,
bad.
oh, he's gonna return, but no, he just kind of
That was so
wasn't
bad.
foreshadowed.
And
nothing.
then Noah being like, "That was my best friend." Bro, it's been 3 days.
He didn't even treat him that well. He was just like, you're kind of a weird guy.
You're kind of stupid.
Yeah. Also, when May says Noah's name, I almost didn't like hear it correctly. I'm like, did she just say no? Like, is she like
Yeah.
mute, or did she say Noah? But then they confirm it later. She said Noah. They could have done a
And
retake on that one.
And they definitely confirmed it when she starts talking in sentences.
Yeah,
in that
but when she
quiet.
first said something, I'm like, wait,
Yeah.
did she say something or no? Whereas, like, it felt like it was trying to have a Caesar moment from Rise, but it did not land the way they wanted it to,
Yeah.
because Caesar clearly says no mistaking, no like, oh, is that a guttural thing? Nothing. Whereas like her line delivery, I know this is super nitpicky. Her line delivery in that one scene was just so like, yeah. I'm like, wait, what did she say?
What?
What?
Say it again.
Huh?
Freya, say it one more time, please.
Yeah.
From the top.
Also, I like in the ending how like there are some humans that can go out, and then some humans that are hunkered in, and they have like the masks and stuff like that. So like they literally have the humans that can go outside, be runners essentially, or that's how I'm viewing it.
Yeah.
At least I think that's a cool concept. Again, they just gotta nail May's character going for it. If she becomes the villain and is built up from the first movie, this is really smart and really cool. But if she starts to see Noah's side in the second movie and becomes friends, then that's you wasted opportunity. It's like the Scarlet Witch thing. Like Scarlet Witch should have been
You know
the
she's
main
dead.
villain in
You know she's dead.
Scarlet Witch. Like she's not coming back. Then?
Yeah, she's dead.
I mean, we didn't see a body.
It's confirmed in the stills for Agatha, the Agatha TV show.
If that show's even fucking coming out,
They've been showing stills of it.
we still haven't seen a trailer of the fucking show.
I haven't seen trailer for The Last of
that
Us season
that
2.
just reads Agatha tax write off.
Yeah, they show like a still of like the day she died, which is the day the movie came out.
Yeah,
and like her name next to it, and there's a list of all other dead people.
that could just be Agatha fucking with magic. No,
true.
It could be a whoop.
But I believe she's dead. Elizabeth
Scarlet-
also doesn't want to be in these
Scarlet
movies
Witch
anymore.
should have been the main villain. That would have been such an awesome thing, and they fucking ruined it. Anyways, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Yeah, again, it doesn't need to be that long.
Proximus steals the show though, bro. He's so good.
He does, but he's not in it for that long.
I know. That's
He's
what's
only
great
in
about
it
him.
like latter second.
He's like
half
30
to,
minutes
like
in.
the third.
30, it's really 30 minutes. He's in the movie,
Yeah.
and he just.
I wish I got more out of him. Then I could be like, oh, he's a really good villain.
JJ, what a wonderful day!
What a wonderful day. Yeah.
Where'd he get that? He did his own thing. Because the whole time he was like repeating Caesar in that moment, but Caesar never said "what a wonderful day."
It's probably just quoting some Shakespearean thing. It's like, oh, Proximus is just like.
Oh yeah, because
blah, blah, blah.
he's obsessed with Roman culture.
Yeah. Although, like, this is what I wanted in detail a lot more because he calls himself Caesar, and yes, it's just for, power and validation because apes hear Caesar and they're like, oh, that's good. But, like, he never explains, like, oh, this is why I took Caesar's name, or this is how I interpret Caesar's word. Like, that would have been a cool dichotomy with the priest being like, here's what Caesar thought, positivity, and then had Proximus, right? That's his name?
Yeah.
Proximus been like, here's how I interpret it, and it's completely the opposite way, but because it's been 300 years since the death of Caesar, like, again, it's legend, so people can interpret it any way they want, but they don't even go into that. Or even, like, the guy helping the apes. It's just like, oh, yeah, I'm here helping the apes. Like,
why? Where'd you come from?
Is it just for safety? Anything? Like, we always complain about, like, hi, I'm here for safety. And yeah, that is cringy, but, like, you gotta allude to it.
I mean, with the other guy,
somehow.
The other guy, you definitely know he's there because he's like, yo, it's cushy, bro. They give me food, they let me read whatever I want.
Yeah,
I get to take a shower.
Mhm.
Like, it's chill here. I'm having a good time.
Yeah, I do like how subtly, like, they show May. You can't really trust her. Like, oh, she knew how to speak. Oh, well, she's probably just not, speaking to the apes because she doesn't want to get killed or whatever. Like, oh, fuck, it's a talking human or echo. Kill it. And you're like, all right, I could give her the benefit of the doubt. But then the turning point when she straight up just kills that dude, it's like, oh, she has killed other people. For sure. So she's hiding a lot. And she knows how to do explosives. Like, there's something to her. Again, they have to nail her character. I also kind of like, get it, flood Noah. Because they flooded the gates and flooded the inside.
Like the
the
Garden of Eden.
What? No, like Noah's Ark.
Oh, like the time Jesus walked on water.
Did the Garden of Eden get flooded?
Oh.
Oh, are you? Oh, you
like the time Jesus turned water into wine.
Or cut off his hand and like eat it. It's bread.
Oh. Oh.
Was that sacrilegious? I'm sorry.
Oh, like the time the priest touched all those little boys in Boston.
Can we keep talking about this movie?
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to talk about this movie? I like it. We're really ragging on it, but that's just because it's following up what I think is a perfect trilogy, and this one very much feels like, okay, I feel like this is going to be safer.
It feels safe.
They're going for safe, and
they're not going for cool.
And listen, if this boils down to like what Tim Burton was trying to do with Planet Apes, like a giant epic battle, like Lord of the Rings style thing, fine, great. but there's nothing really challenging in here. Again, it's not a terrible movie. It's better than most of the recent Marvel movies, but it's still just kind of playing it safe. I do like the main character. The main character is the best part, and he's
Oh no,
he's,
I'm
he's
so excited to see how
very
he changes.
insecure in the beginning, and now we see him as a more confident person.
Yeah.
Ape
I'm
character.
so excited for Noah.
I'm
as a
excited to
character.
see again where he goes, and they really got to nail where he goes. They got to nail a lot of character stuffs in the next one. The next one's not going to be easy to write up. You know, I hope with this next trilogy we talk about Kingdom like we talk about Rise. Like it's a really good setup for things to come.
Yeah, that's where it might be. You know,
Yeah.
that's where I hope. I mean, maybe they'll keep West Ball.
I would still recommend it.
Oh, absolutely. If you've
Yeah.
seen all if you've seen the three, the
In
original
fact,
trilogy,
if you want to start with this one, you can.
yeah, because you don't. It's so
Far
different.
into the future.
Yeah,
And this was one of the points I was trying to make, and then we'll cut it out. But this whole series is how to do I should say this movie specifically, how to do legacy sequels correct, because the characters are literal legends. In the sequel trilogy of Star Wars, it's like what 50 years, not even ahead of the original trilogy. Luke Skywalker is not a legend. People still remember Luke Skywalker. Just because he was been gone for like 20 years doesn't make him a legend. Caesar is literally a legend because he's 300 years. And the sequels should have had done nothing with Luke. And I know that's like, well, you can't because he's iconic. But like, for quality wise, the sequel trilogy for Star Wars should have taken a book from this movie and just been like, oh, it was just so long ago, kind of thing. Like, that's how you do it.
yeah.
Instead of having Mark Hamill be like, I'm Mark. Oh, let me sit down.
I'm Mark Hamill.
You notice
and
in Last Jedi, he does a lot of sitting.
I'm Mark Hamill, and I made $75 million to be in a movie for 3 seconds.
And then went on press tour being like, Ryan, I got to be honest, I hate everything what you're doing.
What you did with Luke Skywalker, just to me, is wrong. You made him incorrectly.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest. And to be fair, let's be completely fair. Luke Skywalker is the most virtuous character ever created. And for Rian Johnson to be like, yeah, he almost killed his nephew.
Yeah.
Is really fucking stupid.
Noah kind of feels like a Luke.
I hope he doesn't turn into, I'm going to kill my fucking kid.
No, but I mean like original trilogy Luke.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I'm excited for that because I like characters like that.
I hope he has a little bit more character than the original trilogy Luke, because you look back at those movies and Luke is just like, it's just like, shut the fuck up. Stop whining. You have a lightsaber.
It's because I think Luke's just better in the books. Luke's better in the
It's just a god in the books. He's like,
exactly.
It's literally book Luke is, here's my action figure and my action figure.
Dude, but Luke, like Luke,
you can't
is
just
so
put that
virtuous.
You just can't put that on film. Just like, oh, I'm just gonna take a giant Death Star.
Yeah, no,
slam it into a
obviously you can't have Luke Skywalker be a deity.
Okay, the fans were,
but you shouldn't make him.
The fans had from Return of the Jedi up until the sequel trilogy of reading nothing but book Luke being super overpowered, super OP, and that's it. And then you give them trying to be maybe not executed correctly, but trying to be a more grounded take on Luke. Yeah, it's gonna not turn out great because all those fans have had nothing but like, and then Luke grabbed 2 lightsabers and then killed 20 fucking stormtroopers in a blink of an eye. He's
so
basically
cool.
Kratos.
Yeah, that's and don't people like Kratos?
People do like Kratos.
Kratos is a literal god, and he still has a really good character development.
You know what
you could do the same thing with
Luke Skywalker at the end of Mandalorian season 2. That's all they wanted, was just like Luke just comes in with a lightsaber, kills a bunch of dudes, and that's it. Like nothing complex, nothing like that. It's just like Luke's just badass all the time. He's a Mary Sue, but the male version.
Wow. You fucking asshole.
Open your eyes! Again, I'm the guy with the opinion that there's not actually a good Star Wars movie. There are good Star Wars movies, but they aren't actually good at the movie category. No, don't end it there. Don't you end it there. No. We gotta wrap it up. We gotta wrap it up. We gotta wrap it. We gotta wrap it up. We gotta wrap it up. We gotta wrap it up.
We're wrapping up. We're wrapping up.
Watch the original trilogy. Also watch my video.
No, yeah, I can't wait to watch his video when he leaves. I'm gonna watch it, and
It's out right now.
I'm gonna put in the comments this movie is for liberal cucks.
Yes,
and I hate him. I hate JJ for just being a liberal fucking idiot. So yeah, no, check out his video. I'm really excited. I hope it does really well. I mean, it came out around the time the movie came out, so who knows? It might do really well. We're excited. I'm excited to see how it goes, and yeah.